Caffeinated Conversations After Dark. I'm Brooke Allen. Thank you so much for being with us. We are at 5th Avenue in downtown Royal Oak. Of course, so many people have come out. Let's hear a big crowd. It's amazing, the crowd here. Thank you guys so much for being with us. So Jason Waldron is with me, and Jason, you are a big part of Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen during the Monday show, and you hang out with me and you do the giveaway and everything. But the After Dark show is kind of, we've changed it to where we're live in breweries and restaurants for a couple of different reasons. One of those reasons, of course, to have a lot of fun, right?
Absolutely, a lot of fun.
To have a lot of fun, but we also do it for a great cause, because we do it to raise awareness for Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and the message is not to not drink. It is just to do it safely.
To do it safely and to plan your evening from start to finish. Meaning that, you plan that you go, who you're going with, what you're going to drink, where you're going, stuff like that. And you want to make sure that you plan how you're going to get home too, because I think that's one of the most important parts of the evening, is so that you can get home to your family.
Right, exactly. And so you and I, we talk about this all the time. We raise awareness for Mothers Against Drunk Driving due to our personal losses. But this night is not really, it does raise money for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. So that is our end game here. It is to raise money and also awareness, but also to have fun and talk about relationships, right?
Absolutely. Why not?
Because they're scary.
Well, that's the way you used to meet the people, when you came to the bars and to the breweries and pubs.
Exactly. So here we are. So this is our second episode of Caffeinated Conversations After Dark. And we asked 2 questions the previous show, and we're going to ask 2 questions now. People have pens and paper here on the tables at 5th Avenue, but we also, you can comment and tell us your answers too. So I'm going to make Jason ask the second question. I'm getting the lightweight one. I'm getting the...
Yeah, it was funny when I saw what you handed me.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so our first question for everybody here at 5th Avenue and watching, of course, is, do you prefer to meet someone in real life or on a dating app? Okay, so that is our first question.
So how are they going to answer these? They're going to write them down.
They're going to write them down, and then we're going to share them. Or they can comment, right? We can do it. We can do it that way. Or I guess they could yell it out, maybe. I don't know.
Well, they could yell it out, but writing them down would be a great way so that we can make sure the person gets the right.
Exactly. And they don't have to write their names down. Right? We're not asking for any names.
No. Just what it is that...
All right, so my question, of course, was, do you prefer to meet someone in real life or on a dating app? So that was my question. And now I'm going to make Jason ask his question. Go ahead.
So listen up, everybody. This is the second question, okay?
It's a good one.
Do you tell the real number of sexual partners that you've had, or do you make it higher or lower? That's an interesting one. Okay.
Oh, my mom, her eyes just like bugged out.
So I can see why you had me read this one. But Do you tell the real number of sexual partners you've had, or do you make it higher or lower?
Why would you make it higher?
I don't know.
Why would you? I don't know. Okay, I'm not answering. You're not answering. I'm not answering that. We're not answering that, but you guys can answer that. So that is the question. So we will be taking those responses, of course. And we have so many fun guests here. We've got Dr. Terry Orbach, of course. She's full of relationship advice for us, so we love that. Also, we've got David Darajotis, because there are a lot of cyber crimes that happen, especially on the dating scene. So we will be talking about that. Of course, Macomb County Executive Mark Hackle, he is here with us. My mom is here. I'm super excited about that. My mom is here. And who else do we have? We have a lot of people here.
We have a lot of people. There's a bunch of people. I know that we have some members of MAD here.
Yes.
We just have a lot of people here. We've got the Royal Oak Police Department that's outside.
Yes. So
with and you'll be talking to them about the drunk glasses.
Right. Exactly. So we will be doing that. But we are going. So you are going to peruse the audience.
I am.
And you're going to have them write down their answers,
Absolutely.
and then you will come back and we will read those. Right.
Absolutely. Do we need to read them again real quick just to be safe?
Go ahead. Okay.
So the first one.
The first one is: do you prefer to meet someone in real life or on a dating app? That's our first one. Take it away, Jason.
The second one is, do you tell the real number of sexual partners you've had, or do you make it higher or lower? So, interesting question, especially for Dr. Love, who's going to be coming on.
Exactly. So we are going to switch her out, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Dr. Terry Orbach is with us, and she is fabulous when it comes to relationship advice. And thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me, Brooke.
And we almost matched
fun.
again. First time we
know,
matched, right?
Right? We were both in red.
Exactly. So thank you so much for being with us. And,
Pleasure.
relationships are kind of the topic of the day, it seems,
Yep.
right? And everyone wants to have a good one, a healthy one, a fun one, but it's not all it's cracked up to be sometimes, but it's not always so fun. So what are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Well, I think we all crave relationships, like you said, and we want really good relationships, but we don't know how to have good relationships. So I really think it's all about figuring out how we can communicate better, how we can handle conflict, and how we can handle stress with a partner together.
Because it seems like if one partner is stressed,
Yes.
right, and then that kind of feeds over into the other one, and then you kind of act off each other, right?
Right, absolutely.
And if you don't know how to deal with that, that makes it tough.
It makes it really tough, and we're all going to have conflict, disagreements with someone, and we're all going to experience stress. So why not figure out how to handle it ourselves, and then, like you said, Brooke, try to figure out how can we handle it best with our relationship partner. Not easy, but definitely possible.
So it can be done. So
Yes.
what is the first step to doing that?
I think first is to recognize and identify that we are stressed.
Okay.
Right?
God, I'm stressed.
People, right? Most people say we're not stressed, or I'm fine, or I can handle anything. But in reality, we all get stressed. So identify that you're stressed.
Okay.
And then the second step is to ask for help. Ask your partner. Say, Brooke, I'm experiencing stress. I'm really worried about, my mom and her health. Can you help me? And then if the person says yes, tell them how you would like them to help
And
you.
what you need, right?
And what you need. Absolutely. Some of us need emotional social support, just listening, shaking your head and saying, I understand, that's
Touching
hard.
the hand, right?
Touching the hand,
say-
absolutely.
Right.
And other people need actual, what we call advice social support.
Oh.
How to fix it.
Okay.
How to do it better. And so tell somebody, your partner, a friend, a family member, what you need.
And what if you're the type of person who doesn't like to get advice, even if you need it? It's like, oh, no, I got this. But in a relationship, you need to be honest and admit that you need that help.
Yes, you need help, but it's not always that you need someone to fix it, or you don't always need the advice.
Okay.
Sometimes, like I said, you just need somebody to hear you and listen and shake their head
Right.
and say,
Smile and nod, right?
Smile and nod, or say,
Smile and
oh,
nod.
that's so hard. The key two words, I understand.
Oh, okay.
And that's emotional social support. I don't need you to tell me what to do.
Or when to do it.
Or when to do it, or even what advice,
Okay.
right?
Right.
On how to do it, but just say, I understand, that's really hard. Other people, by the way, don't like that.
Okay.
When they hear I understand,
They're like,
right, tell me how
Right,
to fix it.
how to fix it.
Exactly.
Okay, so I understand is a good key phrase to say when somebody is stressed, your partner, even a good friend, I would assume, right?
Even a good friend, a family member.
Right. So, okay, so that's one thing. And then what about this whole, one of these questions, I won't ask you about the one, but the other one, are people meeting in real life these days or more on dating apps, or what's your thoughts?
Well, it's such a good question. If we look at research, if we look at studies, online dating apps and dating sites were really big in the 80s and 90s, even the beginning of 2000s, right?
Okay, right.
And then I think what happened is that people are getting frustrated. They're going through the apps, they're
just
swiping,
right?
They're getting ghosted. People are different when they meet in person.
Or they're not even who they say they are.
They're not
right?
right, exactly.
So it's a huge trust thing.
Right, and women are getting so many responses, many of them inappropriate responses.
Right. Okay, yeah.
That they're getting frustrated and disappointed. So I think now in 2024, people are preferring to meet in real life. They're having also, by the way, FOMO. Because
Yes,
when I think I like somebody,
Right.
I think they're going to be great for me, I say to myself, how many other people are out there? Should I
Oh.
check everybody else
So
out?
FOMO means fear of missing out,
Yes,
right?
fear of
so
missing
fear
out,
of
thank you.
missing, yes, fear of missing out, and the whole idea of the grass is always greener on the other side.
Exactly, exactly. And my opinion is, if you find somebody that you like online, and they're compatible, and they're nice and trustworthy and kind, stay.
Okay.
Start a relationship. Don't think the grass is always greener on the other side.
Just take the chance.
Take the chance, take the risk. Try to build emotional intimacy with that person.
So what's so interesting too, though, is that if you, how soon do you meet somebody from it? You know, you hear all these people who are on these apps, and they were like, "We've been texting for 4 months. We haven't met yet." Isn't that too long?
I think that's too long.
Okay. So yeah, really, what is the ideal? Okay, it's time to meet.
I think that you should chat a few times online. Text, message.
Okay.
Right? Online. Then you should go to the phone and talk to the person, and then you should meet face to face.
Dun dun dun.
Yep, absolutely. Go and meet them, because what happens is that if you stay too long online, we have unrealistic expectations. We've already talked about everything, right? There's nothing to talk about when you meet online, and we want a little bit of surprise and unknown.
Right.
That when we meet face to face, you can have these great, deep conversations.
And you haven't already typed it all out.
Exactly. So a few times online.
Okay.
Once on the phone, because sometimes it's really important to hear the person's voice.
I was just going to say, it is the funniest thing, right? What if you hear somebody's voice and it's like,
And so many of my clients say that it's going really well online, but then they go to the phone and they cannot stand that person's voice.
So what do you tell them?
I say that's important.
Okay.
I think voice is important. I recommend that they still go meet that person.
Okay.
Because somebody can be nervous, they can have background noise, who knows what's happening on the phone.
Right, for sure.
But voice, how people talk and what they say, and if they ask you questions and look at you,
Like eye contact?
right? And how they carry their body is all very important in a relationship.
So what about when you do go on that first date and you've met online, so you're finally meeting a person, but the other person is like on their phone constantly?
Right.
Do you just get up and say, okay, well, obviously this isn't working, or what? What do you do in that situation?
Well, I recommend that people are open and honest and use what I call an I statement.
Okay.
So I would suggest that you say, I would really like it if you and I could talk, right? Is it possible that you put your phone away?
Okay.
Right? If they say no, right, which people do,
Oh my God.
it depends on the reason.
Right.
People have children.
It could be a family
there's
emergency.
emergency,
Or they could just be looking for somebody else.
And they could.
Right?
Or that they're not paying attention, or they're not serious about this date. I even tell my students at the university that you have to put your phones away. I need you to stay and pay attention to me now. So it's similar on a date.
Right.
I think it's all about, is this a serious situation? Are you serious about finding a partner?
Right. What is the one thing that people look for in a partner?
Humor is so
I'm pretty
important.
funny.
Yeah. Well, relationships are all about finding that special someone and trust and support. But we can't forget that relationships are also about fun and enjoyment and laughter and humor. So especially when we're talking to women, women want someone who has a good sense of humor. Not self-deprecating, right? Don't put themselves down.
Okay.
But is fun and has a good sense of humor. It's very important. Second is communication. Do they ask me questions? And when I respond to those questions, are they responsive to what I say? So it's not like an interview where they just continue to ask me questions.
What's your favorite color?
Yeah, right.
Favorite food? What do you want?
Where do you live? What do you want to do? Right? What's your favorite movie?
Right.
But they hear your answer and they respond.
Some questions here's some answers you can.
Oh, okay.
Go for it. Yes.
Do you mind if we read some of these?
Oh, I would love it.
Okay, all right. So this, this must be in response to Jason's question. Hold on, let me see. Oh, okay. So the first question was, do you prefer to meet someone in real life or dating app? So this person says real life. Okay. And for the second question we asked, which was, do you tell the real number of sexual partners you've had, or do you make it higher or lower? They said complete silence. They're not answering that. Okay, so there's that one. This one says, hell, honey, I stopped counting in college. It was the 80s. So there's that. Oh, and they like to meet people in person. So there's that.
Good.
All right, we've got that. Oh, another real life. Interesting, right? So actually, a lot of these are all saying in person.
In person.
Yeah, so what do you think of that?
You know, I think there are lots of positives about meeting somebody online, right? Especially if you're really busy, if you're recently divorced, you haven't dated for a long time, right? You can actually sit at home and chat with somebody, right? And you can practice. But when you talk to people now in 2024, I think something that the pandemic has done is that it made us really want a high quality relationship. And in fact, if we look at research, we find that people don't want casual relationships. They don't want short-term relationships.
They're looking for that connection.
They're looking for the connection. And connection is formed face to face. In real life.
Right.
And so that if you're searching for that real connection, that emotional intimacy, you want to meet that person real life.
Okay.
In real life.
In real life. Being real. Okay, so so actually all of them.
All of them.
All of them say
real
in
life,
real life,
in person,
right?
in person.
Right, in person. And then this one says to the number 2 question, not answering that, going lower than normal, or going normal than or lower than it should be is the question. All right, hold on. There's one more. That one was the college one. Another one, not telling, and the other one saying it depends on who's asking.
Good answer.
Depends
These
on who's
are good
asking, huh?
Right, exactly.
So
Well, I think you go higher or you go lower when you're uncomfortable,
okay,
right, about reality.
right.
Or you think that you're going
gonna
to
be
be
cool if you
evaluated
go-
by someone.
Okay. So getting back to that question, is it ever appropriate to ask that of someone?
Personally, I think no.
Okay.
Right. Can you ask, have you been sexually active in the past? Right?
Right.
Are you a virgin? Are you...
Do you have kids?
Do you have kids? All of those questions are okay.
Okay.
Right? But asking the exact
Number?
No.
Okay.
I think most people, if they were asked, would feel very uncomfortable
Right.
by that question.
For sure.
And that's why people either go higher or lower, or
they
don't
say
tell the
nothing,
truth,
right?
or say nothing, or they're silent, or they're so surprised.
They're like, did you just ask me that?
Right, exactly.
I just asked a room full of strangers that. Okay, so I have this little black book here. It's not so little, but I'm going to ask everyone this. So if you had a little black book, what would I find in yours?
In my little black
Yes.
book. Oh, wow. I think you would find all the things that make me calm, like the ocean.
Okay.
And so you'd find a journal of things that I'm trying to do in my life, either daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, that calm me, that make me in the present and feel gratitude about the things I do have rather than I don't have. That's what you'd find
That's
in my
what I'd
black
find
book.
in your little black book. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're
Listen,
welcome.
it is such a pleasure to see you again. Thank you so much for coming out and joining us here. Caffeinated Conversations After Dark. We love having you on. Relationship issues. It's what people want and need to know about, right?
Right, absolutely. And relationships are so important to your health and well-being.
And a good relationship.
And a good relationship for your physical health and your mental health. So absolutely. Thanks for having me,
No, thank you
Brooke.
so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. And again, that is Dr. Terry Orbach, and she is our relationship expert, and I'm so grateful that she joined us. So this is, of course, Caffeinated Conversations After Dark with Brooke Allen. I've had many people tell me, it's really not dark out, but whatever. It's happy hour. It's the summer. So we're just going to go with it. So that's the deal. So we've got Macomb County Executive Mark Hackle in the house. Hello.
Oh, please stop. Oh, I'm blushing.
You're blushing, really?
I'm blushing, oh my
yeah,
gosh.
Yeah. So thank you for coming out.
Brooke, thanks for having me.
Well, you are not in your county right now.
No, I got my visa runs out in about an hour.
Okay,
so
that's what I figured. You're a little
here.
bit of time,
So,
a little bit of time. So, I just appreciate you. I saw you on Mackinac, and it was great talking to you. But as far as like Macomb County and like the nightlife and everything, how's that going out there?
Yeah, a little bit of challenge in some of the areas, but it depends on where you're at.
Okay.
We're trying to see a comeback in the Mount Clemens area, and credit to Mayor Kropp. She's doing a great job in the city right now, trying to work on some things. In fact, they're doing a demolition of an old building that's been there forever. It's it's a hotel, but it's going to be taken down, and they're going to be doing some incredible things there. So it's about getting people to want to populate the downtown area as far as livability and walkability. It's there. So we're seeing some exciting things coming back. Utica, small little town there.
Yeah, Utica, right?
Great things happening there with the ballpark. Andy Appleby has a facility out there now, so Jimmy John's Field. So there are some areas where there's a lot of exciting things happening, but it's been a challenge. I think the economy's been somewhat of a challenge, and after COVID, things still haven't rebounded to the way we would expect, and I guess that's all across the state, not just Southeast Michigan.
And it's funny because, we're post-COVID how many years now, but it's still the trickle-down effect, and people, do want to go out now more, it seems. It seems like a lot of people are like, oh no, we're out, we're going out. But then other people are just, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, right? So it's changed a little bit. Back from the time when I was a teenager, kind of growing up in that early 20s, there's always something to do, place to be. I was always downtown Royal Oak. I was here with a lot of my friends.
Oh, so this is your old stomping ground.
Oh, it was. We were down here. This was the hot spot. There were so many things happening down here. Yes. Oh, I can remember.
So you know Tony?
No stories. No stories. Not sharing. So...
He's like,
That's
I'm not answering anything.
What went on down in Royal Oak stays in Royal Oak.
Exactly.
So.
Similar to Vegas, for sure, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a little bit of a personal question, but not too personal. So as far as relationships go, and with you, and you are married, but to be in the county executive seat, how hard is it for you to be out and people come up to you all the time? How is that for you?
For me, I've always been a people person. I think, being in law enforcement kind of ignited that ability to interact with people. And my feeling has always been, whether it was in dispatch or in the jail or on the road, is even the same thing in my personal life is, I've always thought about when I interact with people, how do I make them feel better about my presence than they ever anticipated prior to having that conversation or engaging with them. And so that's always stuck with me, as a young officer. But I love people. I love having conversations and just kind of get to know folks, people that I don't know. Even just being here, just having a conversation with Jason and some of the folks here.
Right.
There was a throwback. There's a connection I have with the city of Warren. Growing up in Warren, where he lives right now is where I actually grew up. So when you start meeting people and you're talking to people, it's exciting. I think the bigger challenge is with my family. We kind of take in our nieces and nephews and my wife. When you go places, people are always wanting to come up and say hi, which is fantastic. I love it. But there's a conversation that ensues, and sometimes they're not into the conversation. So they've learned to just kind of like continue on. If they're shopping or if they're at an event or function, they'll kind of walk about as I'm still having that conversation with somebody.
And for you personally, though, you love the interaction, like you said, and you're very approachable. I come up to you all the time when I see you, right?
And I love it.
But it's the whole idea of some people are not that approachable.
Yeah.
And and we're talking about relationships, and the whole idea that you welcome that is really admirable, honestly.
Yeah, well, I appreciate hearing that, but again, it's just natural for me. As a kid growing up, I was always one of those kids that just, I wasn't the A student. That was my brother. He was the all-A student. I was kind of a BC student.
Okay.
And I used to get yelled at during
Talk too much?
Parent-teacher conferences. That's all they would always say. It was, Mark's a good kid, but Mark needs to pay attention to Mark. Because I was always paying attention to other people and kind of wanting to engage. But for the most part, I just love being around people. It's a great fit with me. People say, well, you're a politician. I tend to look at it as I'm a public official. I really enjoy the public a lot. And so, with that, makes this job easy. Being the sheriff, I absolutely adored being the sheriff. That was so much fun, just interacting and, having that that front row seat to the real issues and challenges that are happening. I still miss that job, by the way.
Do you?
This one became a little bit more political, where you're expected to do things on behalf of a party,
Right.
and that's just not something that has set well with me. I'm tired of the right-left conversation. Let's get in the aisle and solve problems, and so that's been a bit of a challenge. But I think I kind of made my mark by just being that type of personality.
So do you regret going into the political side of things?
No, I don't regret it because I knew it was almost one of those things you knew you had to do it to change that mindset. I didn't want to get into it to try to figure out how do I grow a party. I wanted to get into it to figure out how do we grow the county, and it was a unique opportunity being the first county executive to step into that role and do it in a way that was not political. So we don't talk about Democratic or Republican solutions. We talk about solutions and how do we figure it out. So I get along with both sides of the aisle, and I've endorsed and supported people on both sides of the aisle. The party may get upset about that, and I'm okay with that. I give them that moment of time to figure that out. But the reality is, what I'm doing is trying to figure out how do we have the right people that are there on behalf of the people doing the job that we need to do, and just engaging everyone. And I don't start off or lead with conversations that divide us. Talk about things that try to figure out how do they unite us. What is it that you're interested in? How do we move forward to try to figure out how do we solve those problems?
And and that's really no different than having a relationship.
True.
Right?
Yes.
I mean,
right.
Got to give and take.
Yes, and there's always that. You're right, exactly. And I'm fortunate. My wife Tracy, she's a wonderful person. And again, I waited later in life to get married because I was engaged in so many things that were happening. And I really just enjoyed kind of growing within the department, learning, getting educated, teaching at Wayne State and Macomb. There was just so many things about that job I was so fascinated with. And then time came, met her, and come to the realization, she's a good person, she's the right fit, and she fits incredibly well, especially with the political side of this job. Never a challenge, and she's got her thing that she does, and she enjoys her career. Really, we get along incredibly well.
So real quick, let me ask you about that. You did get married later in life, and how has that been for you?
It's been fantastic. I mean, it's great. I never had kids. She didn't have any kids, and really didn't think about it. I knew that I probably would have missed that if I didn't, but we're fortunate. We have taken in my nephew at birth. He's now 18, and our nieces are with us, and there are a couple other boys along the way. And I'm going to tell you, just raising them and having the opportunity to engage with them, boy, I would have missed out, had I not really realized, that. And give me a chance to sit back and thank my father for being the father that he was and just being there. He was present. It wasn't about the presents that we got.
Right.
It was his presence that really made a difference in our lives. And I come to realize that's that giving back. I mean, these boys, I know just by being part of their life, that's that give back. And so I'm always telling my dad, watching them go through their driving experience and that pain and agony of, oh my God, they leave the house, you're worried about them, getting into wrestling, they're getting out there on a mat, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, and turning to my dad and go, how did you handle it? He goes, the same way you are, all nervous and worried. And I would apologize and say, what, thank you for being there for that. Right. So it really was a kind of a maturing experience by having kids around you. Right. And as you well know, it's just there's something that really makes you think a little bit different and kind of matures you a bit. So grateful being married. She's a wonderful lady, and obviously having the kids around really has made a difference.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming out here to Oakland County and talking to us. And I told you, I gave you a warning. You were sitting over there, and I said, okay, I'm asking everybody this question. If I found your little black book, what would be in it?
Not much. It's so funny. It's like, I don't know. My life has always been very public, and so I really haven't had anything in the black book.
Right? No, huh?
No, my life has always been public. My black book has been exposed for years, so there really isn't any hidden secrets.
Well, that is disappointing, but okay, I'll take it.
That is. Sorry.
That's okay. So. Thank you so much. Thank you so much again. That is Macomb County Executive Mark Hackle. Thank you, Mark Hackle, for being here in Oakland County with us.
Bet.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, this is Caffeinated Conversations After Dark. We are at 5th Avenue in downtown Royal Oak. It is just an amazing night. Of course, it was torrential downpours this morning, and I was getting a little bit worried that we weren't going to be able to have Ryan and the tent outside, which I'll explain that in just a second. But it is cleared up. It is still pretty humid, but we're making it through. Oh,
yeah, we'll make it work.
We're making it work. And Ryan Spangler, you are a sergeant.
Correct.
Right? Royal Oak Police.
Yep.
And, I have to say thank you because you kind of were instrumental in getting this show together for me, and I appreciate that so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
No, and so, of course, you work a lot with Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Correct. Yep.
And that is kind of our bonding experience, right? But this, on the table, are very interesting because Everyone has heard of the drunk goggles, but these give new meaning to drunk goggles, right?
Yeah, so I mean, we have 10 pairs of them, and we go out in the community like these guys are tonight, and we let people try them out to see.
So
the
tell me
effects.
exactly. I mean, I've worn them before, but tell me exactly for someone who doesn't know what these are. I mean, they are literally.
Yeah, so they start at the low level, an 0.6 I think is the lowest, and they go up to a 0.25. These ones are night ones, so it simulates night, and these ones simulate daytime.
Okay.
So when you put them on, you can see. I'll put them on for you. You go a little cross-eyed.
Right. You go. Okay. So here's the deal. So right now, I can't even see the microphone almost. I feel a little bit nauseous already. So it's a prism effect, right?
Yeah.
And I'm seeing two of you.
Yeah.
But you guys do this so people can understand what it's like to be drunk and driving.
Yeah. So the officers will put them through all the tests that we do on the road. They can experience it, what we go through on the road, while seeing the vision kind of blurred and affected, and hopefully it'll help them make smarter decisions with drinking and driving.
Well, right, and plus you guys, this is a huge educational factor.
Yes.
Right, for the kids, because they don't really know what they're getting into, and it just takes one time.
Yeah, well,
right?
So
one
this
bad
week
decision.
We had 7th and 8th graders at the department, and we got golf carts, which they couldn't drive the golf carts to start with.
Right.
The cones didn't stand a chance. But we let them do a course normal, and then with, I think, the 1.5s we put on.
Okay.
Just so they understood, going into 7th, 8th, 9th grade, alcohol starts to pop its head to these kids, and now they'll have an understanding of kind of what your vision, what happens.
Just how impaired you are.
Yeah.
And you guys do the weights too, right? Do you do the weights on the wrist and the ankles?
No.
No. Okay, so
no.
a couple years ago, I actually drove a police car with the goggles on, and then they put the weights on me.
Oh.
And so it was so tough.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I hit quite a few cones, by the way.
Yeah, some of these cones were destroyed.
Yes,
and they were done.
exactly. So
But
what was the kids' reaction?
they shocked,
Okay.
because they none of them should have known what it was like. So
Right.
that was the first time for them to ever experience this. So it was shock, but it was also a good learning curve for them to know
Right.
when it comes up and they start driving, don't do it.
Do you think that, this youth academy, you've been doing
So
all
first
sum-
year.
the
Yeah,
first year.
no, just 5 days.
Okay.
5 days
All right.
was enough.
So how
it was
5
fun.
days and
Yeah.
it was fun, but what are the kids learning in that?
So we took them to Troy Gym and did group work with them and high ropes, so we could work on team building and get to know each other. We did golf carts one day, and Mad did a presentation. So Mad came in and did half the class presentation, and the other half went on to the golf carts.
Okay.
So they did the golf carts, which they loved doing, just normal golf carts, because a lot
Right.
had never driven a golf cart.
Right.
But then you put the goggles on them, so they experienced that, went through the Mad course. The Detective Bureau came in and put on a full crime scene. So they got to dust, and it was,
Really?
it was everywhere. What else did they do? They did a little bit of everything. They got to see the canines. They did a full track downtown. They walked a track, and then they went back with the canine a couple minutes later, and the dog tracked.
Right.
They got to see the dog bite, the motorcycles. They got to do traffic
So
stops.
they see everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
So why did this, Royal Oak is very involved, and why did you guys decide to start this youth academy?
One of our officers, Jessica Reese, came up with the idea. She saw it with one of the other departments, and she just kind of ran with it. And it's a great opportunity for community engagement and giving back. And so Chief was all for it. And
Right.
we put it on for a week, and we got 30 kids. And
That's awesome.
we had fun, and we learned things to change for next year.
Okay.
I think we all learned that 7th and 8th grade kids, which we all know they eat, but we had no idea how much they eat.
Yeah.
So a lot of the restaurants and bars and stuff donated. B&B Collision gave us some money, and Meyer gave us some money.
Oh, to feed them
yeah,
for
Buffalo Wild Wings gave us
Okay.
food.
Wasn't enough?
So, no. I just told some people earlier, 82 bags of chips in the first 4 hours of the day.
Seriously.
82 bags of chips.
82 bags
Yeah.
of chips.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of
So,
crazy.
Yeah, a little excessive,
Okay,
but,
yes.
but they're growing kids.
But they're
so.
growing kids, and they're
So-
learning, and that was what was important,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah, they had a blast. You could hear a pin drop in the room the first day.
I'm
and
sure.
then at a graduation, they were singing Backstreet Boys as a group.
That's cool.
So, yeah, they all bonded. It was fun. It was a good time.
That is so cool.
And that's what all this is all about,
So the tent is outside, and again,
Yep.
we're at Fifth Avenue, and people can actually, has anyone tried these out besides us?
Nobody's been out there yet.
Nobody's
so
been out there
hopefully
yet?
some of
Okay,
these
so
people
yeah,
start
so people need to go out there
venturing
and
out
kind
there
of.
and bugging the officers
Yes,
out there and
they're
testing
out
out the
there.
goggles. They'll give you the SFSTs
Yes.
at what happened on the road. So it would be a full simulated. You get pulled over, and they'll put you through the whole scenario.
whole thing, right?
And you'll have the goggles on, and
And you know what? And we'll be here watching it through the window.
Yeah, it's entertaining. As me and Jason did, you can try to high five, and you high five,
you just miss,
you'll miss,
right?
Yeah.
You just miss.
But, yeah, I mean, people think they won't, they do.
Exactly. And again, that is that is the reason for the show, right? I mean, we're here to entertain and talk about topics, relationships and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's about telling people, it's okay to drink, but just do it responsibly.
Yeah, education.
Right? It's all about education.
So,
and now it starts younger.
Yeah. Well, and we got runners coming tonight. There'll be a lot of runners out there, so hopefully they'll partake in this.
Right.
And, they'll engage with the officers, so it's good for us to engage with the community. It's good for them to learn. It's all around just a good thing.
So do you think, out of all the police departments, you may not want to say this, but I mean, Royal Oak is pretty involved, community-oriented.
Yeah, we try to be the best we can. Yeah.
Okay. Because you're a big bar town.
We are, yeah. I think we had over 300 OWIs just in Royal Oak last year alone.
Really?
Arrests, yeah. So there's a lot. A couple every night, unfortunately.
Right.
So,
okay. So, I mean, and this is all part to raise awareness. And I just want to say thank you so much for doing this. Okay, so you're not going to get away with it. I'm asking you too.
Uh-oh.
So if I found your black book, what would be in it?
College. Hopefully a standard answer for a lot of people. Thankfully, I'm not that old, but iPhones weren't really around, so.
So it would be, what, addresses, phone
College,
number? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so,
All right.
I feel bad for the kids now.
I know, right? It's overwhelming.
Everything's recorded and videotaped and
especially for you guys, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a whole different aspect for you guys.
It's likewise. We're recording constantly, and, we're being recorded constantly, so it's just part of the job now.
Right. You just
part of life. You're recorded everywhere you go.
Well, and that's why you have to be careful, right? Mm-hmm. So, well, listen, Ryan, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
Thanks for having me.
For setting this up. It's been so amazing. These, I really want people to try them because it will open your eyes, no pun intended, but to a whole entirely different experience of if you do drink too much and you get in that car and what you'll experience, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so thank you so much. And again, you guys will be out there.
Yeah,
right?
I'm going to go out and join them, and
all right.
hopefully we get some people out there.
All right, well, maybe I'll come out and walk the line in a little bit, okay?
There you go. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you, Sergeant.
All
right, thank you. And that is Sergeant Ryan Spangler from the Royal Oak Police Department. Hi.
Hi. So we have a surprise for you, Brooke.
Really?
Yes, we have some people who are going to come up and ask you some questions. So they will come up. I'm going to move the chair out of the way.
I'm putting my goggles on.
Go ahead.
Hi, Christina.
Brooke,
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. This is Mason.
Hello.
Mia's
Hi.
best friend
Yes,
from
I
childhood.
remember. How are you?
I wanted her to come with me.
Good. Thank you for being here.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
So since beginning Caffeinated Conversations, what is one of your most impactful interviews that you've done?
Probably. Impactful would be, I would think, with you guys, honestly. And I'm not just saying that, right? Because you share your
Thank
story
you.
of Mia. And honestly, I know my segment, Halfway to 100, which focuses on taking care of our elderly loved ones.
Yes.
That's a big need for people. So I know some of those conversations have also been very important. And Terry Orbach,
Wonderful.
it's funny, she was on about relationships, and people want to know how to have a good relationship.
Definitely.
Right? And so I think that those are some of them. But to me, honestly, Christina, they're all very impactful. And I mean, I set the show, I schedule the interviews, and I really try to make it relevant.
Absolutely.
Right?
And
So-
you do.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
For the community,
that. Thank you.
You do an amazing.
I appreciate that. And I'm so
Thank
happy
you.
to see you guys. Thank you.
I'm so happy to
No,
be here.
seriously,
Thank you.
Thank you. Was that your
Thanks.
question?
That's it.
Oh, okay. I got off easy. That was
I
a little worried.
I can give a little shout out for the Mia project.
Yes,
so.
please do. In fact, your son is taking our
Yep.
pictures for us this evening.
Yep,
So please
and-
do give the shout out.
And just want to mention the Mia Project.info is our website, and that's where we share Mia, our story, her story, the things we do with MAD, the events we do, as well as sharing her affirmations that have been left behind that are amazing gifts for me. So it's a wonderful place for me to share Mia. And to spread awareness.
And to spread awareness, right?
Absolutely.
And again, and that is why it's so important for you guys to be here. And I know you are Mia's best friend, and I can't imagine how how this has been for you as well. So, as we're here and we're having fun and people are enjoying themselves, at the end of the day, it's still about the message.
That's right.
It is about the message.
It's not about not drinking.
No.
It's not. It's about not driving.
It's about not driving, right?
And keeping each other safe.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
it.
So, again, thank you so much for
Thanks,
being
Brooke.
here, and your son doing our pictures. I appreciate it. And of course, Mia is close to our hearts. I never met her, but I want you to know that I think about her all the time, okay? Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi, Brooke.
Well, it is Michael Caruso, man about town. What is this?
I didn't know if you needed a cue card or something, but there you go.
I don't, but this is very funny because you and I have never met in person.
That's correct. Somebody said it to me earlier. How do you know Brooke? I said, I don't.
I don't, right?
We connected during COVID.
Yep.
Online.
Yep.
Because that's how our relationships
That's
were.
how every relationship was.
And so nice to meet you today.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks
Thank
for the
you
invitation.
Oh, you are welcome. Is Red with you?
Yes.
Is she?
She's chatting up some guy at the bar.
Oh, is she? Okay, well, we'll let her do that then. So listen, so you are a speaker,
Yeah.
right? And you are a man about town. So,
I am.
So
According
explain,
to that, I am.
according to this index card he is. So explain this for me.
Oh, I just like to get out. I'm a people person, always have been.
Did you see Tony yet?
No, I look
I
for him.
haven't seen Tony yet either. He's
He's not
supposed to
here.
be here. He's going to be here at some point.
We'll find him.
Okay, we'll find him.
We'll double team
Yes,
him.
we will for sure. We will for sure. So what's been going on? I know you're getting ready for TEDx Detroit, right?
Yeah, I'm not actively involved with it, although I did get an invitation, and we're
I
trying
saw
to put
that.
something together.
Okay.
I'm honored. It's the third time I've been invited to speak at TEDx.
Okay.
And that's a treat, and no matter what city you do it in. I just got back from Dallas. I was with a bunch of people that speak on the college circuit, which is probably the most difficult place to do a presentation
Really?
these days.
Why?
Because we kind of live in a culture where it's a call-out culture to some extent, and the universities have been rife with protests and sensitive issues.
For sure.
And so they can be difficult. I know a lot of stand-up comedians have said they'll never work at university again.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I know that's where a lot of them start.
Yeah.
Right? At the circuit. They do the
That's
college
right.
circuit, and that's where it started at least years ago.
Yeah.
But for you to say how challenging it is, I think that speaks volumes to the day and age we're in.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of sensitive topics right now, and I think it's probably going to get worse between now and November.
Right.
And then maybe it'll settle down again. This type of thing, it tends to bob and weave, come and go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What we need are mechanisms for coping with it so that we can be more civil to each other.
Right.
And
Okay, so what's your number one piece of advice for a coping mechanism?
well, listening is fantastic.
Okay.
You know, to be able to not want to trump somebody's opinion with your own and just be okay with what they say. That seems to be a hard thing for people to do at barbecues these days.
It's like, what are you talking about? I'm sorry. But you're right. Listening is super important.
Yeah.
And really listening, right? Because anyone can be like, oh, yeah, that's good, Michael. Okay, I got what you said. And
Well, it's extra hard, too, if they're coming at you with opposing views or
Right.
something that's sensitive for you.
for sure.
And I just think we need more tools for dealing with it.
And I agree with you completely as far as you and your wife. I'm sorry, I see her online as Red. What's
Yeah.
her name?
Renee.
Renee. Okay, so you and Renee recently haven't been married that long, have you?
No, it's been a year exactly. What a good memory.
See, I knew that.
July 26th.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Thank you very much.
So, okay, so how has that been for you for this last year?
Fantastic. And, you know, I got married late in life, and I just couldn't be happier. People would always talk about marriage.
Right.
And not everybody speaks fondly of it, by the way. I don't know if you know this. So maybe I was just talking to the wrong people, but now I'm
Right.
talking to the right people,
That's
and
awesome.
they're asking me how it is. We were together for 10 years prior,
Okay. All right.
and she relocated from Oregon to be with me in Michigan. No pressure,
Okay, no pressure,
Yeah.
right?
but it's working out great.
That is awesome.
Yeah, thank you for asking.
Oh yeah, no, I remember seeing that, and to me, so what's so interesting to me is this whole social media life that we live. But you see all these wedding pictures of people,
Yeah.
and you see, and you're like, wow, that seems like they're older, or but it's interesting to see
Yeah.
because times have changed.
And we had a really small wedding because of the nature of, we had just gotten out of COVID, couldn't find a venue.
Right.
And we're both Rotarians. We got married in Rotary Park in Rochester
Okay.
with 2 witnesses and Mayor Ethan Baker from Troy.
Really?
Yeah, he was the officiant. So it was great.
That is
and we did a little
awesome.
reception at night and got done with it.
Right.
We read somewhere that the average wedding costs $35,000
Yes.
with a 50% return rate for most.
So what was yours, like $35?
Yeah, $350 for the
See?
bar tab.
Well,
Yeah.
there it is. Well,
I highly recommend it.
well, that is awesome, and what a pleasure to meet you in person. I promised you Tony would be here.
That's okay.
He is here somewhere, or
I'll
he's
find
going to
him.
show up. So please find him. I wouldn't want to go back on my word.
Congratulations on all your success. You're
Thank
a
you.
legend in the community.
Thanks,
and
I appreciate
this
that.
kind of a thing on a Monday night for such a good cause.
Thank you. I
We
appreciate
rounded
that.
the corner and saw the police cars out front,
Yeah.
knowing something's up here.
Right, right.
And of course, they're here to support you.
Yes, and I appreciate that so much. Seriously, thank
Yeah,
you.
my pleasure.
And okay, question: if I had your little black book, what would be in it?
If you had my little black
Yes.
book, well, it used to be, a year ago, it was a much different black book than I have now.
I'm sure. I don't want Renee to get mad at you, so be careful.
Well, my black book now has all of Renee's sizes and preferences and
Really?
favorite brands, and that's it. man.
Nice,
It's not
really?
even a book; it's like a one-pager.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think everyone can take that advice, right?
Probably.
Probably, yes. Thank you. Thanks so
My
much.
pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Nice to see you. Keep
Nice
up the
to
good
see you.
work.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And please let Renee wave to me or something, okay?
I will.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye. And that was Michael Caruso, again, somebody who I am connected to online through social media, but we have never met in person. So thrilled that he and his wife came by to say hello. So with me now is Sarah Linke, right? Tell me your title.
Chief Probation Officer.
So you are the Chief Probation Officer in Royal Oak.
I am.
And do you just kind of look at this outing right now and we're like, oh, there's so many options here. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, hopefully I won't see any of these people later.
Exactly, right? So, okay, so you are a Chief Probation Officer, and we ask you to come because obviously the Royal Oak Police Department, they're here. We've got the goggles here because we're promoting safe driving responsibly,
Yes.
right? And it's so important because there's so many aspects of probation that people don't even understand.
Right.
Or have any clue as far as if they get in the car and make that bad decision one time, what could happen, and not just in that moment of a crash, but going on further, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so tell me, if I had just gotten, we'll do this hypothetically, of course, if I had just gotten pulled over for drunk driving, and it was proven that it was a DUI, what would happen as far as you?
Well, after you would go through the court process, once you are either found guilty or pled guilty, the judge could refer you to our probation department to be interviewed. Once that happens, my probation officers would interview that individual, and we go through everything: substance use evaluation, all your background, prior criminal record, things like that. And
So it's not just from that moment that happens, you're
No.
going back.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's why our department is a lot different than a lot of other departments in the area, because we give everyone a substance use assessment. And we uncover a lot of information.
Really?
Yes,
Okay, so you guys are unique in that way then.
we are.
Okay, so what does that do for the probation rates? I mean, does it go up? Does it go down? What?
Well, typically, so for at district court probation, you can be on probation for a maximum of 24 months, so
Okay.
2 years.
Okay.
So typically, the majority of our cases start out as a 2-year probation sentence. They can be discharged early, if they are in full compliance with all of their terms of probation, no issues, no violations, things like that. So it does happen,
Right.
that people are discharged early
Okay.
quite frequently.
Okay, so they that does happen.
Yeah.
But worst case scenario is total opposite, right?
Worst case scenario would be up to a year in jail.
Really?
Because we've got some cases that the maximum jail sanction is 365 days. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so there's jail time, and then there's also the cost.
Exactly.
And the cost is what I, in my years of reporting and following the prison system, I mean, different things that I've done throughout my career, it's been really interesting because people don't understand how much cost is involved and what you end up paying for
Oh, yeah.
as the person who's been convicted, right?
So after you pay for your attorney, if you pay for a retained attorney, that's thousands of dollars. A typical fines and costs on an operating while intoxicated charge could be anywhere between $1,500 and higher,
Okay.
just for fines, for court fines.
Oh,
We've got alcohol and drug testing. If you are required to go to any sort of classes, you have to pay out of pocket for that.
so you have to pay for those
Oh,
too?
yeah.
Okay. And then you mentioned the drug and alcohol testing. Is that something that you pay for out of pocket as
Yes.
well? Really?
Yes,
Okay, so that all adds up, and that could go, what's the time limit that could be?
the entire time on probation.
Really?
Yes.
So that's so much money.
It's It's a lot of money. People don't have any idea how much they're actually going to be spending when they go out and don't take an Uber. Don't think ahead.
Right. So what is your advice coming from the side of the law, really, to somebody who may be thinking they're okay to drive?
You have to have a plan. Before you go out for that night, have a plan of what you're going to do, how you're going to get home. I mean, if it doesn't work out, don't drive.
Right.
Because God forbid you hurt somebody or yourself.
Right. And then it just starts the cycle,
yes,
right?
It does.
And it's hard to get out of that cycle.
It is.
Right? Once it starts.
It's very hard. I mean, your license is restricted for a period of time, could be suspended depending on the type of charge, depending on your prior driving record.
Okay.
I mean, Secretary of State, that's a whole separate
thing, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So suspended license, we hear it all the time in the news that somebody, oh, well, they were driving on a suspended license.
Yeah.
And it seems like that is pretty prevalent.
It is.
So what is...
Well, our court, again, is different with that. Judge
Right.
Meineke and Judge Kolakowski now are tag teaming at the Operation Drive program at our court. So, they work with people that have driving on a suspended license charges. We have different court-appointed attorneys that assist these individuals with contacting different courts around the area to help them get their licenses back, because there's so many ins and outs. Every court is different. Every court's requirements are different, when it comes to either turning yourself in, if you have bench warrants for your arrest.
There's so much time involved in this, right? So it's not only just the financial aspect, but it's the time that if you don't have your license, then somebody has to drive you.
Right.
Or you have to Uber there. Or, there's just so much involved in this that people just don't understand until they're in this situation.
Exactly.
And it's, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this almost 15 years.
Really?
Yeah.
In Royal Oak only?
Well, I started out in Berkeley.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I live in Berkeley.
Yeah. In Berkeley, the courts merged. So
Okay.
I merged too.
Okay. So you merged. And if you had, I know you said plan ahead, but if you had one thing to say to somebody who's on probation and if they could make a change, what would it be?
To learn from the choices that they made. This was not a mistake that brought them here. These were active choices, multiple choices that were made to bring them into the court system. And it probably wasn't their first time.
Right. And how, you mentioned the youth programs. I know Ryan was talking about the youth academy that Royal Oak has. But how young do you think these conversations should be happening with kids?
Well, Judge Meineke, again, he has, Justice 101.
Yes.
Justice 101, where he goes and talks to the fifth graders at all of the Berkeley and Royal Oak schools. And every Wednesday, that's our probation docket day, they come in and they watch our whole docket. So
that's when they have their word, right? Because my
exactly.
twins did that. And
Yes.
They still remember their word.
Yeah.
But it made such an impression on them.
It really does.
Yes.
These are real people.
Yeah. 2 years later, they still know their word.
These are real people, real problems. Some people go to jail. I mean,
yeah, they're sitting right there watching it, right?
Yeah, and that's just it. Probation's an alternative to jail. So our judges will do that, but they don't like to.
Right.
I mean, you have to really mess up.
Okay, so thank you for taking the time to be here and kind of explain this, because I think it's super important that people understand that the choices they make may not just affect their lives and their family financially, but time-wise as well.
And it carries with them for quite some time.
And it stays, right?
It stays for a while.
And that's an important thing to remember. So thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
spreading the message. I appreciate
You're
it. What a
welcome.
pleasure to meet you in
Thank
person.
you.
I'll be seeing you again soon, I think, from
I
what
hope
I've heard,
so.
right?
Yeah.
So thank you,
Thank you,
Sarah.
Brooke.
Thank you so much. Another question? Oh, hello. Oh, where's the mic? Oh, there's a mic.
Okay.
Okay.
I was told I was not allowed to ask you who your favorite PR and relationship experts are. So here's the question.
All right.
How do you like your steak cooked and why? And based on your answer, our relationship expert is going to give an
weigh
answer.
In on that. Really?
Yes.
Okay. I am not ashamed to admit that I like my steak well done. Extra well done. Extra well done, yes. So we did get some booze. So rude.
So is it true for steak, salmon, chicken, the same?
Everything.
Everything.
Across the board. What does that mean?
I think sometimes when you have a steak or a salmon that's so well done, you lose the taste of the piece of meat or fish.
Right?
I think it represents whether or not you're able to trust in other people easily.
Really?
Not that you can't trust.
Okay.
But the less well done, the more likely it is that you are trusting
Really?
of people.
Interesting.
Interesting.
That
Would you
is-
say that's a little bit true?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Woo.
Oh, by having oh, wow, that's great. That is something. Thank you. But I'm still ordering it extra well done.
I'll make up on the other side next time.
Will you? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. As far as favorite PR people, we all know the answers to that. Thank you so much, Jason Brown. So who's coming up next? There's like a line of people with index cards and questions. Judy.
Well, so you know me.
Hi,
Okay,
of
you're-
course I do.
And I wrote down how we met.
Yes.
FAMD.
Yes,
We're,
so for anyone who doesn't know what that is, tell me.
Friends for Animals of Metro Detroit. We're
Yes.
in Dearborn.
Yes, you are in Dearborn. You do
And-
amazing work.
Thank you. And so they decided to make me president of the board
Really?
starting at the end of August. I know.
High five!
But the reason why I'm up here, Brooke,
Yes.
is what's in your black book?
Oh, well, let me look. Actually, nothing is in my black book. So what do you think of that, huh?
Yeah, well, we've got to start filling that up, Brooke. But I do want to share a little story.
Yes.
How Walter and I have met, and Walter is my husband.
Yes, he's your lovely here, right?
We met on Match.com
Did you?
like 20 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and his title was Ugly Duckling.
Really?
And so I was intrigued. It's
Yes.
like, so we dived deeper into that, and
Yeah.
our relationship started off with communication. I was traveling for my job.
Okay.
And so phone conversations,
Okay.
emails, and things like that.
How soon was it that you guys were interacting, that you actually started talking and doing, because...
Just, well, we both like Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
Oh, okay.
And so that started the conversation.
Really?
Yeah. So
Okay.
we chatted for a few months, and then we decided to meet in person because it's all about, so I invited him over to my house.
Really?
He went to the wrong house,
I love that.
and it was instant love. after
Really? And that was how long ago?
that. 2005.
Really?
And so we've never been married before, and we got married about 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
He remembers the date. I'm not so good
You
with
don't
that.
remember the date?
It was in January. It was
Close
snowy.
enough, right? You're like, it was cold. It was
It
cold.
was cold. It was nice. It was downtown
cold. It was-
Detroit.
So for people who may be a little skewed as far as relationships,
Yes.
and you guys have been together a long time now, and you
Very
met
long
on a
time.
dating app, you met on
Yes,
Match.com. What advice would you give?
Just, conversation's really important. People are so into texting and email, and you've got to get to know the person. Live conversations, if you're not ready to meet for coffee or anything like that. And that's how you really get to meet somebody. And then meet at a coffee shop or, and do some fun activities. So we're
Like, be
yin and
active,
yang.
right?
Be active,
Be active.
yeah.
And you guys, I have to say this because I know you, but I mean, you do a lot of acts of service.
Yes,
I
that's
mean,
really important.
It's
Give
really
back.
important to you to
Yes.
give back, and I think
Yes.
as a couple, that speaks volumes.
Yes.
And I respect that so much about you guys.
And well, Detroit Public Theater, we
Yes.
supporters of that. You came to an
Yes.
event
Yes.
and all that. So we love Detroit. We love giving back and helping lift up people and organizations, and it comes back to you twofold.
Well, and it's funny because I think that you guys are a perfect couple. Even if you don't
You should have
remember
heard
your
us on the way
anniversary,
over
were
here.
you arguing? Okay,
Yeah.
was it parking? Was it about
well,
parking?
that and my navigator. So
But you got this, so it's
We
good.
got it,
You
yeah.
got this, Judy. Thank you so much
always
for coming.
looking forward to supporting you.
Thank
So
you. I appreciate you coming so much. Thank you. David Darajotis. Hey, how are you? Good. So David Darajotis is a famous cybersecurity guy,
I
aren't
don't know
you?
about that. Yeah, not at all. Not
Yes,
at all.
you are. So you have done some interesting things. We had you on the show about 2 months ago, I think, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so we had you on the show, and we're talking about dating. We're talking about deep fakes and everything. And I mean, there are a lot of scams out there.
There are so many scams out there, and it's interesting because we're talking about dating, meeting people in real life versus online. Last year, $650 million. That's how much people lost for online romance-related scams.
Like dating apps?
Dating apps, online, social media, Instagram, all of those. Absolutely. It's all social engineering. You make a connection with somebody, you draw them in.
Right.
Once you draw that person in, it's so easy to take them for so much money.
And because you don't know them, right? I mean, it's all, like you said, it's texting or emails, and it's all kind of fake, right? It's a facade.
It is a facade, and it's getting harder to be able to determine what's real and what's not. And I'm hoping we can go to the audio clip.
I am hoping. Okay, so I know that we have this audio that David created for me, and Jared is standing by. So Jared, can we play that audio of what David created?
Hey everyone, you recognize this voice. It's Brooke Allen, and I have something very special for you. Head over to my Facebook page right now, Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. When you hit that follow button, I am going to personally send you a special invite to be a part of my exclusive Bitcoin community. Only members of this private group will have the opportunity to double their money, guaranteed. If you send $100 in Bitcoin to my personal wallet address, I will send you back $200. If you send me $500, I will send you back $1,000. There is no catch, and you can't lose. I am so excited to help my faithful followers make some easy money. What are you waiting for? Head to my Facebook page now and don't miss this incredible opportunity. That's all for now. This is the real voice of Brooke Allen, a name you know and a voice you can trust. See you real soon.
So guess what? That was not me.
You never said
any
one
of that.
single word of that. All I had to do, and it's true for anybody, you have a lot of audio online, clearly, your public personality. Right. All I had to do for that was grab 45 seconds of one of your podcasts, one of the interviews that you've conducted, and I was able to type whatever I wanted you to say.
That was so, when I was listening to it, I kept thinking, well, no, that is me. No, that's not me. Because it does have a certain, there's something, right?
It picks up on mannerisms. So the more audio you can feed into these AI programs, the better they are, the more they can hone in.
So it's the speech pattern.
Exactly. It looks for the exact way that you say specific words. You can have pauses, breaks. You can hear, the breath within the words. They have gotten so good. And that's just the audio. The video is getting incredibly phenomenal as well. Yes.
So how long did that take you to create?
That took 15 seconds to make.
Really?
Yeah. The longest time was just uploading the audio and having it study your voice.
Okay.
I typed whatever I wanted. It made it very quickly.
So people are doing that, and I've never sold Bitcoin. I've never even seen a Bitcoin in my life. But it's so interesting because people want a relationship so bad that they will fall for this stuff.
They do. And the more authentic, the more real you can make it feel, the harder it is to be able to tell. Again, creating audio, no issue. I could go online, and for anybody in here, look for all sorts of compromised passwords that they have. Most people use one email for all the different online activities that they use. Right. And then that single email ends up in so many different data breaches. So I'd be able to log in, access your particular account. I can upload a video. I can upload some type of audio. And now I'm instantly reaching all of your connections.
And they think it's me.
They think it's you. And it's so much harder. We talk about romance scams, $650 million. It's getting a lot harder to tell if the profile is legitimate or not, because I can generate unique images of people, men, women, children. It could be anybody. You can create very perfect, lifelike images that you can't typically find with a catfishing attempt. With a catfish, somebody uses your profile picture, they lift it online, and they're pretending, they're a different name, but they're looking like you.
Right, okay.
With these AI images, I can create very unique images that you won't be able to find tied to any other real person.
So so here's the thing. So when I get a request, right, for somebody to they want to be my friend or whatever. So when I will check and see if we have mutual friends. Okay, so that's like my first thing. But what else should I be doing to make sure they're legit?
Yeah, it's very difficult. Mutual friend connections and how long the profile has been around.
Yeah, you see the one profile, the same picture, like the same day, different pictures.
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this, it is a lot easier now to create a unique image. So it's a fake image of a man, of a woman, and I can create that in different poses, on vacations, on boats, traveling.
Really?
So I can create videos of the person dancing out and about. You can do so much in terms of the advancements of how authentic they look. So you have to it's going to be a case by case. You have to see what are they trying to get from you? You know, are they asking for anything? If they're asking for money, massive
right
red
there,
flag.
right?
Massive red flag.
Right. Okay. What would be another? So, I mean, money to me seems obvious.
Yeah.
So what would be something else that they would ask for that would maybe seem under the radar?
Well, money's usually what they're after. These types of attacks or these types of social engineering attempts, they're financially motivated. You know, just recently, Meta, who owns Facebook,
Yes.
they took down 63,000 fake accounts that were all being used to scam and to steal money from people. Many of these profiles were tied to Nigeria. And there were 20 or so scammers that created thousands of accounts. So they do this like it's a job. They go, they log in the morning, they focus on people, they have all these chats. It's what they do. So it's harder and harder. It really is a case by case.
So, okay, so how do you, okay, so the profile being new, right? The pictures, you may have to look through those and kind of see if they look legit, but they may not be legit.
Yeah.
What else is there to look for?
I think if they're unwilling to go on camera, that is a huge red flag. You know, some of these profiles might be new because somebody created a new dating profile. They created a new, picture and they want to be able to go on and meet people. If they are unwilling to go on camera and to show themselves, that's a big red flag. Always making excuses, can't go on, it's voice only.
Okay.
That's a big red flag.
Okay, so if somebody is like that, do you just say, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you anymore, or block them?
If you genuinely are trying to build a relationship with this person and there's always an excuse for why they can't show themselves, I think you should seriously question whether you should continue on in this conversation, whether it's worth your time, energy, and effort.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, walk the other way.
That is so crazy. So much money being lost to this.
It's unbelievable. You know, that they say that there's been an issue that's come up, they've fallen on hard times, or they have a great investment that you can't lose, just
or
like that.
Big emergency.
Exactly.
Right.
Those are all things, all big red flags, but they're trying to pull money out of you. But again, it's psychology, and I'd love to hear the doctor's take on this because they look to build that connection. That's what they do first. These aren't things that are done overnight. They take the time, energy, and effort to build a relationship with that person.
Oh, so it's not an immediate, can I have $500?
Not at all. Not at all. The most successful ones take weeks, or they could take months.
Really?
And it starts small. Maybe you owe them $200, $500.
Okay.
From there, they look to, come really hot and heavy. Thousands of dollars is what they go after.
Okay, so they're playing the long game.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay, so it's a long game, and it's not just, I'm not alarmed if somebody says, oh, I've just met you, can I have $500?
No, that doesn't work.
That's not going to.
Trust is the name of the game. They have to build trust with you.
Okay, that is so interesting. Thank you so much, David. And of course, you've heard me ask this, so I'm asking you, if I had your little black book, what would be in it?
My black book is going to be filled with all sorts of aliases and burner email accounts because I hate giving my information to any place that I sign up for online and go to.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, well, thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you so much again. That is David Darajotis, and he has got a new book out. I'm super excited about this, and we're actually giving this away tonight. So real quick, this is available on Amazon too, right?
It's available on Amazon, and it's really a blueprint to be able to walk you, your family through being as secure as possible online.
Okay, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to see you, David. Thank you. I
Brooke.
appreciate it. And again, this is Caffeinated Conversations After Dark. We are at 5th Avenue in downtown Royal Oak. Of course, everyone having a great time. It has been so much fun hanging out. I see somebody very familiar walking up to me.
Hello.
Hello, Susie.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm Joey.
You okay?
Joey.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
I'm
Good.
Joey. Yeah.
Give me a hand, man. Okay, so this is Susie Strong. She is with Mothers Against Drunk Driving, of course, and this is she's been a key part of my life since we've been in Michigan,
Yes.
of Natalie's, and just everything that Mothers Against Drunk Driving does. And of course, these shows, the After Dark shows, are to benefit MAD.
Yep.
So it's very important to us, but we thought we would do it a little bit differently. We thought we would go into the bars, the restaurants, the breweries, and because it isn't about saying don't drink, it's about saying drink responsibly.
Be accountable.
Be accountable, right?
Yes.
So, and that is what this has been about and will continue to be about.
Yes. Good turnout, too. I'm so glad.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, very nice.
Thank you. So for anyone who doesn't know what Mothers Against Drunk Driving does, give me one sentence if you can.
One sentence?
Yeah.
We do it all.
You do it all, actually.
We work with the victims. We provide services. It's free of charge. It's we provide the resources. We go to court with them. We have victim service specialists that do that. We also have underage programming to speak to kids and junior high and high school to make a pledge that they would not drink until they're 21. We have the victim impact panels that we speak to first and second time offenders. We have them throughout the state. We have our fabulous Walk Like Mad event coming up on September 7th.
That is September 7th. Super excited about that.
Yep, and then we also do the law enforcement luncheon. We just recognized Royal Oak Police Department for outstanding agency for the state. So that was awesome. And we're busy.
You are busy. And I guess when you think about what you do and why you are so busy, it's not good, right?
Right.
It's not good. But at the same time, I have to say that, you know, you guys being involved and navigating the court system and the victim impact panels and everything you do that people don't realize because they don't have to realize it.
Right.
They don't have to realize it until they do.
Right. Yep. They didn't know we even existed until that point because someone will actually drink 70 to 80 times before they are actually caught the first time. So that's scary.
That is scary.
To know how many people are out there on the road, you
Right.
know, and actually working with law enforcement. I work a lot with Ryan, and it's just, I mean, my nephew's on the PD. He had a drunk driver pulled over on Monday night. Another drunk driver came back and ran into his cruiser and totaled the cruiser.
Is he okay?
So, no, he's fine.
Okay.
He did get hurt. But, I mean, it's just, it happens.
It happens.
Way too much.
Yes. And when we're at those law enforcement luncheons, the recognition lunches, that is one of the questions that are asked are how many of you have been impacted by a drunk driver?
Yeah, on duty.
Right?
Yes.
And they stand up, and it's shocking the number of officers that have been hit while on duty by a drunk driver sometimes as they're trying to pull over another one.
Yes.
It's kind of an endless cycle. But that's why we're here. That's why we're raising awareness and trying to do it in kind of a, I don't want to say cool way, but a different way. A different way, right? So, and Susie, I just appreciate everything that you guys do and what you do personally.
Well, thank you.
And you work so closely with all the law enforcement across the state, and of course you and Ryan, Sergeant Ryan Spangler, very close,
Ryan.
right?
Yeah, Ryan's
so
been very good.
what an honor for us to be here in this huge hub because it is such a party town.
Yeah,
right.
Yes.
So I think it speaks volumes that everyone's willing to talk about this here in Royal Oak.
Mm-hmm.
So
they do a lot of arrests. I think Ryan mentioned they had like 300 and some arrests, I believe, last year, and. You figure that's, just the square mileage here for Royal Oak, so it's a lot.
Oh, do we have? Oh, okay. You know what? Okay, so we have a video from Mad, right? We are going to play that right now. Jared, if you could, please. Hey, so exciting. We had Caffeinated Conversations After Dark, the debut show. That was back in May. And we had a fundraiser for Mothers Against Drunk Driving Michigan, and it was a huge success. And I am so thrilled and so proud on behalf of Jason Waldron and I, Brooke Allen, to present this check to Mothers Against Drunk Driving. $2,700, Paula, the money we raised that night. And I just am so grateful for you guys stepping into the bar with us, so to speak, and we're getting it done and we're changing the message a little.
Absolutely. I want to bring Sue in here because Sue was actually instrumental in actually helping formulate the idea with Jason and his team. But the idea is meeting drinkers where they are. The idea is meeting drinkers where they are. That way we can, begin to share the message that, MAD isn't against drinking. It's just if you decide to drink, just please don't drive. You have options out there, designated driver, ride share. But we are so grateful for this sizable donation and for your time and commitment, Brooke and Jason. We greatly appreciate this.
Well, thank you so much. And, I just have to say thank you all, Christina, Taylor, everyone, for believing in us and trusting us to handle the show and do it with respect and dignity and also to get the message out. So $2,700. I'm excited, and I'm excited for our next show. So stay tuned. And of course, tonight is our next show. We are at Fifth Avenue in downtown Royal Oak. It has been such a fun night. We've had so many conversations about relationships, but also the aspects of drinking and driving and the work that Mothers Against Drunk Driving does. We have had full-on audience participation here, and I am with Lynn and Sue. And what's happening, ladies?
Well, inquiring minds want to know.
Okay.
When you go out to lunch to your favorite restaurant, what is your go-to order?
Huh. I'm looking at you because you were at lunch the other. It was probably an extra well-done hamburger. Was I right?
Ahi tuna.
And ahi tuna. So I flip between them, right? So it's either the well-done burger or it's ahi tuna, but those are usually my choices. And chicken lemon soup. I love it. It's my favorite.
So the next quick question.
Yes.
When you go out at night to the bar, what is your go-to drink?
Oh, that's easy. That's a glass of Pinot Grigio. White wine, I can't drink red. It gives me a migraine. So there's that. How about you guys?
Vodka cran.
Lynn?
A nice Chianti.
Okay, all right.
With a cheeseburger.
Oh, well, see, cheeseburger. Well done, please. Are you with me? Okay. Oh, I'm being heckled. I'm being heckled because of how I like my hamburgers cooked. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And hi, Renee.
Hi, so nice to meet
nice to
you.
meet you too. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Doing great.
I told Michael, I see her. She's so beautiful. The red hair. I see her online all the time. Never met either one of you in person. And congratulations on your 1-year anniversary.
Thank you. It's our first in 10. So 1 year married, 10 years,
10 years
together.
Okay,
Yes.
we'll take it still, right?
I'm happy.
Yes, exactly. So what's going on?
So my question for you is, since I'm in the anti-aging and longevity field, is how do you look so amazing? What's your secret?
Thank you. You know what? A lot of caffeine.
It's a boost.
It's a boost. I drink coffee. I drink coffee from the minute I wake up till when I go to sleep. It's the only, and some moisturizer maybe.
Moisturizer.
Yes. With caffeine in it. How do you get that hair so red? Your hair is beautiful.
I have a really good stylist.
Do you? Okay,
Don't
well,
say that too loud.
No, I know, right? Seriously, thank you so much for you guys being here. I appreciate it, and it's so nice to meet you in person.
It's nice to meet
so
you
we
in
have to get a
person,
picture
too.
afterward, okay?
Would love to.
Please?
Would love
Can
to.
you hang out?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Thank you, Renee.
Thank
it's
you.
a pleasure. Okay, so what's going on, Jason? It's been a busy...
Well, we hit you with something you weren't
Yes,
expecting.
you did.
Didn't
You
we?
totally did.
That's always fun, though. This is After Dark. You never know what's going to happen.
You never do. No, even though it's still light out, but
And this time we got you.
You did get me. You did. So this has been a great turnout.
Oh, I think it's been an awesome turnout.
Yes,
it was great to see
this
Mark.
has been amazing. Yes, it's been amazing, right? So, so what do you have there?
So I have some more of the answers that were done.
Okay.
So do we need to reiterate the questions?
Yes, we probably do, just real quick.
Do you have them over there?
I have them somewhere. I have my gum here. I have my, let's see. Okay.
I remember mine, so go ahead.
You remember? Okay, so the first one was, do you prefer to meet someone in real life or on a dating app? And the majority that I had earlier all said in real life. What do yours say?
Well, I've got one, none of the above.
Oh.
In person. They're all in person.
They're all in person.
Yes, but I actually talked to somebody tonight who met their other half online.
Judy?
Yeah.
Judy and Walter, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I know. She said Match.com. That's amazing.
Isn't that that's awesome? Every
It
single
is.
one of these are.
That is so
In
crazy.
person.
Okay, so the second question.
So online does happen.
It does happen. It does. It does. Okay, so second question is.
The second question was, do you tell your real amount of partners you've had and your sexual partners you've had, or do you raise it or lower it,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
So I've got real number, and there's no names on these, so we have no idea.
So we have no way to.
Be honest regardless. Depends on who I'm speaking to. Don't want to know, don't need to know.
Well, see, and that's a good point. Don't you agree?
I don't think anybody needs to know. I mean, I think that it's insinuated that if you're, older than you've had.
Right.
I mean, it's common.
What's that one say?
This one says honest answer, numbers. So all of them are saying honest answers.
Honest answers,
But
see?
it makes me wonder, is that real?
What do you mean? Maybe they're
100%.
AI.
Do you know what I mean? Don't ask me.
Exactly.
So if somebody
Exactly.
asks you, then you just say,
Then you
okay,
just say,
the
oh,
date's
yeah.
over.
Yep,
The
I'm
date's
over. It's done. It's done.
Because if you don't want me to ask you, you want me to know.
Exactly. So so that.
So
that
I think
is-
it's cool.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so those questions were good, right?
Yes, and
Okay.
we have some door prizes, right?
Yes, we do. So does Aaron have the numbers for us? Hi, Aaron.
Do you have the numbers?
Or do you have the...
We have a few. What do we have here?
I don't know. Oh, my goodness.
My goodness, yes. So there's quite a few names on here.
Okay.
So, and I know that, thank you, Skinny Tees.
Yes, Linda from Skinny
Linda's
Tees.
from Skinny Tees for,
Woo,
yay!
Linda!
So all the ladies in the house, they get a Skinny
Skinny
Tees, what is it, a t-shirt, a tank top?
It's a skinny tee.
It's a skinny tee. So before you leave, ladies,
Yes.
make sure you get one of those.
Everyone gets one.
So it's kind of like, Oprah, what's under your seat?
What's under your
You
seat?
get
Yep,
one, you get
one.
one, you
Yeah,
get
see?
one. You all get one.
Yes,
And then,
and then-
let's see, who else do we have? So pick a name off there, and they'll get the prize from Time Warp.
Okay, I pick April Sarvis.
April
Sarvis.
Okay, so we will give that to you at the end of the day. If you're not here, then we will find you and give it to you.
Okay, so we're checking that one off.
So we're checking that one
Okay,
off.
so April
Everybody
Sarvis.
gets.
Okay.
What else do we got?
Okay,
Oh,
so
we got David Jarrett.
We've got David Jarrett Jodas book.
Yep.
And, okay, you pick one now.
I'll pick one. Who do I think needs security?
And it's autographed.
An autograph
An
book.
autograph book.
It better not end up on eBay tomorrow. So, how about we pick Beth Smith?
Oh, Beth.
We'll
she's
pick
like,
Beth
she's
Smith.
looking around like.
And the funny, I don't know these names.
Oh, I do know them.
So, so I'm not being.
Right? No, it's okay. You're not like.
What
okay,
else do we
so
got?
what else? So we've got the fabulous coffee cup.
The coffee cup.
The coffee cup. This
Oh
is
yeah.
mine. I know, right?
That's right. And there's a surprise in one of them.
There is a surprise in one of them.
Yes.
Okay.
So you get to pick that one.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna say. We already did that. Lynn Hessen.
Lynn.
Yeah. Lynn.
Lynn. Yay. We'll give it to you afterwards. So come and see us.
Okay. We have one more.
What do we have?
Two more. What do we have? We have two more coffee cups.
Yep.
One is surprise. Jen Peters.
Jen Peters. So remember these names, you guys.
Okay. And then.
And then I'll
more?
pick one. One
okay,
more.
You pick one.
How about Sarah Busa?
Okay, Sarah.
Very good.
All right.
Ooh, I heard I won.
I heard.
I heard that.
I heard.
That's awesome.
That is so awesome. Okay, so.
So this was awesome.
This is so cool.
This
Thank
was
you so
awesome.
much. Yeah.
It's neat to see all of our faces up on all these screens here. And if you haven't been to Fifth Avenue in Royal Oak.
Oh, is Tony here?
I don't know.
I don't know if Tony's here.
But if you haven't, you got to get down here and you got to
Yes,
check it out
it's
because
very cool.
it's got the big balcony out front.
And the pool tables upstairs.
The pool tables
right?
upstairs.
Yes.
It's
Good
a great
food.
place. This
It
place
is.
has been here forever.
Yes, it's
so,
amazing. So many people, when they found out this location, they were like, "Oh, I haven't seen Tony in years. I've got to go see him." Apparently, we're still waiting.
Apparently, right?
Apparently, we're still waiting for Tony.
If you haven't, come on down.
Yes,
And they're
come on
usually
down for
closed
sure.
on Mondays, but they
Exactly.
are here
But
Tuesday
yep.
through Sunday. So
Yes, and-
come check it out.
Yes, exactly. And of course, we always have to say thank you to my Michigan TV, Dave Scott and his team, David, who's here, Jared, of course, who's putting up with me back in the control room, and Troy. Thank you guys
Don't
so
end
much.
it yet. You're not done.
I'm not done?
No.
Oh, I'm not, am
There's
I?
another surprise guest.
There is?
Yes, you don't end with me this time.
I don't end with you? Okay,
No,
who is
so
it?
let me get up and get her for you,
All right,
okay?
get her. Come, it's my mom. Hi, Mom. Woo! She said not to embarrass her, and I said, I won't. Of course I won't embarrass you. But guess what? Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. So tomorrow is a very special day.
Yes, it is.
It's her birthday tomorrow. And so that birthday cake behind you, I don't know if we can carry it over here.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Is it pretty heavy?
It's 2 layers.
Yes, it's 2 layers. But we're going to be cutting that in just a minute to celebrate my mom's birthday because honestly, thank you for everything. Everything you've done for me and just your support of the show. And now we've got the goggles and the cake. But no, so I just wanted to say thank you. I'm a horrible singer, so I'm not going to sing happy birthday. But if you guys want to sing happy birthday, please go ahead, Barbie. Lead it off, man. Will you do it?
Can I leave now? Here.
She's like, can I leave now? I do want to talk to Tony, but you, Papa,
Yes.
Is it over there?
Yes.
That's okay. You can just say, so my stepfather, James, was so kind. He actually,
Did your mic go on?
I don't know, did my mic go off? Sorry, Mom. So anyway, my stepfather, James, has been so kind. He's given a large donation to Mothers Against Drunk Driving tonight on his behalf. So on behalf of Mothers Against Drunk Driving and, of course, my mother's birthday, so thank you. I know that he will see this, and we're just so grateful for that and the support. So thank you. And it's lemon cake. You should be happy. All right. Okay, we've been waiting for the... Thank you, Mom. We love you. Okay, Tony, man of the hour, man. We've been tracking you down. Hi, how are you?
Is that your mother?
That was my mom.
How can I go on after your mother? I can't do that.
Well, you can. I might have to, yeah, this one is dead, I think. Okay, so. We're gonna I'm just gonna be really close to you, Tony, sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, so anyway, so listen, Fifth Avenue.
After dark, decaffeinated.
It is. So listen, thank you so much for having us here. We appreciate it. Your support has been amazing. You're not even open on Mondays, but you opened for us tonight, so I appreciate that. And so many people here tonight had said that they know you, but they hadn't seen you in so long. So like Matt over there, I know Lynn, I mean so many people, and Mike, Michael Caruso, everyone, so excited to see you and just so thankful for you doing this. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you very much for saying all that. It's wonderful to have you. This is something very unique and very wonderful that you're doing here. And my apologies for missing my
it's okay.
my part. We golfed. I told you
yes,
that we had
you told me you were
golfing today.
Yes.
And
there you go.
Okay. So I mentioned that I had to golf today,
I
but
guess I forgot.
It looked like it was going to work out, but I don't know if you noticed that huge rainstorm earlier.
Yes, it was a horrible storm.
A 2-hour delay. It was terrible. But I did bring proof that.
Oh,
that
you brought proof.
Yeah,
thank you.
I did golf, so in case you had any doubts.
Well, listen, thank you so much. This place is amazing. It's so much fun, and we couldn't be more grateful to have been here with you guys on a Monday when you're usually closed. So thank you to you and your staff, and hopefully we'll be able to do it again sometime. But again, thank you so much, Tony.
You're very, very welcome. Fifth Avenue is happy to have you. And we mentioned when you said you were going to do this, I mentioned this show to a lot of people, and everybody knew it. Everybody liked it.
Awesome.
Everybody was a fan. So yeah, it's just
so it worked out.
Very exciting to have you. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for those mozzarella sticks now because I'm starving.
Well, you know what, we renamed them last week, right?
Yes, you named them.
Did you tell everybody?
I did not tell everybody what you named those.
Brooke's mozzarella sticks.
Woohoo!
And that happened when Hulk Hogan was in town.
Exactly.
Hulk Hogan did not get mozzarella sticks.
He did not get mozzarella
Brooke
sticks.
Allen did get mozzarella sticks.
I got mozzarella sticks. Thank you so much, Tony. It's a pleasure to be here. Seriously, thank you.
Thank
okay,
you.
Well, listen, I know that we are late. We're running out of time, and so many people here, and it's been so much fun. Thank you again for everyone watching us. My Michigan TV, all you guys, thank you for your team. Demetrio, thank you for taking the pictures tonight, and everyone who joined us. And Tony, of course, Fifth Avenue, all your staff, appreciate it. And again, another happy birthday to my mom, and thank you all the guests that joined us, all the questions that were answered. And Tony, what's in your black book? Good night.